Hey music lovers, 1965 was a revolutionary year that changed music forever. These songs aren't just turning 60, they're the soundtrack of our lives. Now, let's dive into the stories behind these masterpieces. Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds emerged from the fascinating evolution of folk rock in Los Angeles. The band formed in 1964, originally calling themselves the Jet Set. The group faced intense pressure from Columbia Records to capitalize on the folk rock trend. Behind the scenes, bitter rivalries and creative differences threatened to tear the band apart from the very beginning. Today, Roger McGuinn remains the only original member still actively performing Byrds material. The band's influence reaches far beyond their active years. In recent years, several unreleased recordings from their early sessions have surfaced, revealing a darker, more experimental sound that Columbia Records rejected. While many know Turn, Turn, Turn as a folk rock classic, its origins tell a fascinating story. Pete Seeger wrote the music, but the lyrics come directly from the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, making it the oldest lyrics ever to top the Billboard charts. Seeger only added 2 lines, "Turn, turn, turn, and a time for peace, I swear it's not too late." That song took on new meaning during the Vietnam War. The Beatles' Ticket to Ride marked a pivotal moment in the band's evolution, though few realized it at the time. She's got a ticket to ride. By 1965, tensions were already brewing within the group, particularly between John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Lennon later claimed he wrote most of the song, sparking a decades-long dispute with McCartney that continued until Lennon's death. The recording sessions at Abbey Road were particularly strained, with Ringo Starr actually walking out at one point due to creative differences about the drum pattern. George Martin later revealed that the band spent nearly 6 hours arguing about the arrangement before recording a single note. The song's innovative drum pattern and heavy guitar riff influenced countless bands that followed, from Led Zeppelin to Aerosmith. Paul McCartney continues to perform it in his live shows, though he's modified the arrangement significantly to accommodate his aging voice. Few fans know that Ticket to Ride contains a notable mistake that became part of its charm. At the 2:03 mark, a guitar overdub comes in slightly early, a mistake that engineers wanted to fix. However, John Lennon insisted on keeping it, declaring the imperfection is perfect. This decision influenced countless future producers and artists to embrace imperfections in their recordings. Wooly Bully by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs wasn't just another novelty hit. It represented a cultural breakthrough in American music. Domingo Sam Samudio faced significant discrimination in the music industry due to his Hispanic heritage. Record executives wanted him to change his name to something more American, suggesting Sam Sampson or Danny Drake. Instead, he created the outlandish persona of Sam the Sham, complete with turbans and theatrical costumes, effectively turning the industry's prejudices into a marketing advantage. Sam left the music industry in the 1970s, disillusioned with its commercial aspects and struggling with personal demons. He became a certified drug abuse counselor and motivational speaker, using his experiences to help others overcome addiction. He occasionally performs at rockabilly festivals, though he admits he's tired of playing Wooly Bully. Before we continue, share your memories of these songs in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe to join our community of music lovers who remember when rock was young. Downtown by Petula Clark marked a dramatic shift in the British invasion of American pop music. Downtown. Clark, already a major star in Europe, initially rejected the song, thinking it was too American for her European audience. At 92, Clark released a new album in 2024, demonstrating remarkable longevity in an industry often fixated on youth. She's become increasingly outspoken about ageism in the music industry, particularly its treatment of female performers over 40. The song holds several fascinating secrets. While inspired by New York City, Hatch wrote it while in London, creating an idealized version of American city life that never really existed. You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' by the Righteous Brothers broke all the rules of 1960s pop music. radio stations initially refused to play it, claiming its nearly 4-minute length would bore listeners accustomed to 2-minute songs. Producer Phil Spector, never one to compromise, threatened to never work with any station that refused to play the full version. Bobby Hatfield's passing in 2003 marked the end of an era, but Bill Medley continues to perform with Bucky Hurd, choosing to honor the legacy rather than retire the name. The song has generated more royalties than any other in history, largely due to its use in films and TV shows. The track holds a unique distinction as the most played song in American radio history, with over 8 million plays by 1990 alone. The background vocals included a young Cher, though she was uncredited due to contract restrictions. The song's signature bass line was played by Carol Kaye, one of the few female session musicians of the era, who was paid just $37 for the session. A third verse was actually recorded but cut from the final version. The lyrics addressed the possibility of reconciliation, but Spector thought it weakened the song's emotional impact. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag by James Brown revolutionized rhythm and blues overnight.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
Brown demanded absolute perfection from his band, famously fining musicians for missed notes, scuffed shoes, or even lacking enthusiasm during performances. The recording session for this track was particularly intense, with Brown making the band rehearse for 6 hours straight before even recording a single note. Several musicians quit the band that day, including one who had been with Brown for over a decade. Brown's influence extended far beyond music into civil rights and politics, though his support of Richard Nixon in 1972 caused controversy among his fans. He negotiated directly with city officials during times of civil unrest, once preventing major riots through his intervention. The song's impact on funk, soul, and eventually hip-hop cannot be overstated. It essentially created the blueprint for funk music. The famous guitar opening wasn't supposed to be there. It was a warm-up riff played by Jimmy Nolan that was accidentally recorded. Brown liked it so much he kept it, though Nolan never received credit or royalties for his contribution. The session tapes reveal Brown shouting specific instructions to each musician between takes, developing the arrangement on the spot. Don't forget to share this video with friends who appreciate real music history. Leave a comment about which of these songs brings back the best memories, and make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the music that shaped our lives. In the Midnight Hour by Wilson Pickett, emerged from a perfect storm of talent and tension at Stax Records. Pickett's difficult personality and legendary temper were well documented in the industry, earning him the nickname the Wicked Pickett long before this hit. The situation escalated until Stax president Jim Stewart had to intervene. Pickett's influence on soul music remains immeasurable, though he never received the mainstream recognition he deserved during his lifetime. The song has been covered over 300 times, with Pickett's estate still fighting for proper royalty payments from various uses. During the recording, the air conditioning broke down in the studio, creating unbearable conditions in the Memphis summer heat. The intense heat caused the drums to go out of tune, creating the slightly sharp sound that became part of the song's signature. Session guitarist Steve Cropper later revealed that they kept a bucket of ice water in the studio to cool down the vacuum tubes in the amplifiers, which were threatening to overheat. This technical challenge inadvertently contributed to the warm, distorted sound that other artists would spend years trying to replicate. Eve of Destruction by Barry McGuire created controversy before it even hit the airwaves. McGuire recorded the vocal in one take, thinking it was just a rough demo for the Turtles, who were originally supposed to record it. His morning voice, still rough from sleeping, gave the song its distinctive growl. The record label, sensing the growing anti-war sentiment, rushed its release without even telling McGuire. He first heard his own song while driving and nearly crashed his car in shock. McGuire's life took a dramatic turn after the song's success. He later became a born-again Christian and initially denounced the song's message, though he's since reconciled with it, viewing it as a call for spiritual rather than political change. He still performs occasionally, but he prefers to sing gospel music. The song has found new relevance in recent years, with many noting its lyrics seem eerily prescient about current global issues. The song was written by P.F. Sloan while suffering from a high fever, and he claimed the lyrics came to him in a dream. He wrote them down without fully waking up on a newspaper margin and couldn't remember doing it the next morning. The song's distinctive opening riff was played on a 12-string guitar that had been left out in the rain and warped, creating its unique, slightly out-of-tune sound. The record label tried to repair the guitar for later sessions, but couldn't replicate that same sound. Hang On Sloopy by the McCoys has a fascinating origin story few people know. The band was originally called Rick and the Raiders until legal threats from Paul Revere and the Raiders forced a name change. Lead singer Rick Derringer was only 17 when they recorded it, requiring his parents' permission to sign the contract. Derringer went on to have a successful career as a producer and session musician, playing with both Edgar and Johnny Winter, among others. The song became the official rock song of Ohio in 1985, though many residents initially opposed this, calling it inappropriate for official state recognition. The real Sloopy was Dorothy Sloop, a jazz pianist from Steubenville, Ohio. She actually hated the song and refused to acknowledge its connection to her until shortly before her death. In a twist of irony, her family now maintains a small museum dedicated to the song's history. The museum includes the original guitar used on the recording, though its authenticity was disputed until Derringer confirmed it in 2019. It's the Same Old Song by the Four Tops emerged under extraordinary circumstances. Motown boss Berry Gordy demanded a new single within 24 hours after learning their previous hit was being re-released by a former label. The Four Tops maintained the longest-running unchanged lineup of any successful recording group, 44 years with the same members. This stability came despite numerous offers for solo contracts, particularly for Levi Stubbs, who turned down several lucrative deals to remain with the group. Today, Abdul Duke Fakir is still the only surviving original member. He still performs with the new lineup, keeping the group's legacy alive while sharing stories about the original members with audiences. The song's rush recording left in several mistakes and became part of its charm. Motown's quality control department wanted to scrap it, but there wasn't time to re-record. And there you have it. 10 songs that defined 1965 and continue to influence music today. Don't let these memories fade away. Share this video with someone who remembers when these songs first hit the airwaves. Someone who was there when music changed forever. Hit subscribe to join our community of music lovers who understand that great music never ages. It just gets better with time.